Hey guys, what's up? It's Tees here coming at you with another Tips with Tees in College Football 25. Today, I'm going over how to throw less interceptions. Do you just struggle throwing picks all day? You feel like every throw that you have, a deep ball, one that you have to throw over somebody, just gets undercut consistently, and there's just nothing that you can do about it, no matter what, and you just feel extremely helpless? Well, if you do, well, I got the perfect video for you and the perfect solution to help you throw less interceptions in College Football 25. But before we jump into this video, if you could please leave a like, if you're new to the channel, subscribe, and don't forget to turn on your notifications so you don't miss another Tips with Teats in College Football 25. Today I'm doing a new video, a little face cam feature, and we're going to see how this works and see how you guys like it, and I'll be able to actually show you guys what buttons I'm pressing and kind of show you on the screen and stuff like that, what buttons to press and everything like that. Hopefully it does benefit you guys a little bit more with this little setup that I got going on here. But to get started with this video, one thing that is extremely important for everybody to understand is no matter what you do, you will still throw interceptions. There's nothing you can do. It's football. It's part of the game. And at the end of the day, you can only limit the amount that you throw, but sometimes it happens. Sometimes the computer just goes ham and there's nothing you can do about it. It's happened to me. It's happened to everybody. It's happened to the best players in the world. It just happens. So you have to definitely realize that and know that it's going to be okay if you throw an interception. It's not the end of the world, but this video is going to help you limit them to help obviously win more college football games, as well as throw more touchdown passes and things like that. But number one is going to be set up your progressions pre-snap. Now, I know this sounds very, very simple, but sometimes if you just go into it willy-nilly and not even think about it and just say, okay, well, I'm going to hike the ball and see where I'm going to throw it, well, you're going to set yourself up for failure 9 times out of 10 there. Every single time that I'm in a pass play, I always set up my progressions pre-snap, and it's very, very simple. For me, I like looking in the same area. I don't have too big of a TV. Mine's probably, or sorry, monitor. Mine's about like a 27, 28 inch. You don't want a big monitor to get things started with, especially because the bigger the TV, the more room you have to look, and sometimes you have to move your head, and that's not good. You want to be able to keep everything in the same frame, everything without turning your head, and you don't have to keep too much in your peripheral vision. When it comes to setting up your progressions, one thing that I always do, like I just mentioned, is I like to look in the same area. So for here, I'm totally not even looking at the left receiver, Weiss. I'm not. That little comeback route or curl route, I'm not looking at it at all. All I'm looking at right now is the right side of the field. And if you take a look at my my Florida Gators dynasty videos that I've been posting over the last few weeks, you'll see what I am doing. And those ones, I try to do a good job of letting you guys know what I do in the game. So if it's, if I'm passing, okay, what are my read progressions? What am I looking for? What kind of defensively going up against? Same thing on defense. What am I expecting on offense? What are they going to do? What kind of play I'm picking? Why I'm picking? And give you a little insight of what I think about when playing the games. But anyway, back to the video really quickly. So back to progressions. So one thing that I really like to do is set up the progressions. So for here, for example, you have Burden, Miller, and Cooper. So what I like to do in this situation is my first read is going to be a Burden. My second read is going to be Cooper going across the middle, a little bit deeper. And then my third read is going to be Miller. If you get blitzed, you're not going to have much time to throw. In College Football 25, you know that you're not going to have much time to throw. So you definitely want to make sure that you prioritize the few seconds that you do have with a clean pocket, even if you don't get blitzed, to set up where you're going to go with the football. The quicker you can get the football out of your hands, the better chance you're going to have to, 1, not get sacked, 2, fumble the ball, and 3, maybe even throw an interception if you are making the right reads. So this is extremely key. So again, this read right here, what I'm going to go with is A, B, RB. The only other read that I might go, which I'm probably not even in this little clip right here, is Y, Noel, the running back to the left. But let's just see here. I'm going to go A, B to R. So they covered him, and A opened up right over the middle. Easy catch over the middle for an easy completion. Again, I'll show you right here kind of where my eyes went. I wish I had one of those little things where it can tell you where my eyes are looking. But what I looked for was right here, Burden. Okay, well, since they're in zone, I noticed they're in zone because this cornerback on the right side, he just stayed right there. He didn't back off with his player. He kind of looked like he was staying in one spot. So as soon as I saw that, and I knew that throwing this would be an easy interception for them, well, then I honestly went to my second read, which was number 5 right here, Cooper, who's going over the middle. Now, since they are going zone, you got those 2 cornerbacks right there, the 2 guys in white, and they're going to stick right there. And I assume that they're going to stick because it is that, zone coverage. I didn't even know what coverage I picked. I just picked a random one. But because of that, there's a huge open space right here where 21 is not going to be able to convert in enough time to stop that throw. As I make that throw, you see him wide open right there. And again, I'm not always looking for the deep ball. You shouldn't either. And that is it, guys. I'll do another play with you guys just to show you what, again, I am looking for and what my progressions are. So another example of my pre-snap progressions that I like to set up here. This is a play that I really like to run. You're gonna have the running back running in motion and then kind of doing a little Texas route back over the middle. But I usually like to go Burden Y, look at him on the outside, and then I'll go back to Noel and then to A, who's running a little curl route. I know it's not all on one side of the field, but that's just how I like this play because I feel like these routes have a good chance of getting open, especially since if it is going to be zone coverage, which it looks like it might be, that Cooper is going to provide some space for Norfleet to come in underneath and just settle right there with the curl route. So let's see here. He's going to go in motion there. Burden beats the coverage, take my 5 yards, and move on. It's that simple. You don't have to change things up. You don't have to, obviously, go for the deep pass every single time because that is not going to win you all the games because the more often you throw deeper passes, the more risks you take, the longer you hold on to the ball, and that's something that you want to avoid. So make sure you set up your progressions pre-snap every single pass play because if you don't, that'll be the one time that you get blitzed and you get sacked, you might be fumbled, and they might run it all the way back for 6, and that can cost you victories in college football 25. All right, the next tip that I got for you guys to help you not throw as many interceptions is going to be simple. Throw the ball away. Don't force it. It's so easy to force in this game. I know I have been a culprit of it many, many times, especially when it comes to RPOs. I see a throw and I'm like, oh, I can get it there before, the defender gets there, but boom, it gets picked off. And next thing you know, they're taking it back for 6. So you definitely want to be very, very careful about when you are throwing the ball and if you really need to force it or not. The more often times that you force it, the bigger risk you run. It doesn't even matter too much about the discrepancy of how much better your player is than the defender or the team that you're going up against. You got to be smart about it, and that is not one way to play smart football. That'll cost you many interceptions, touchdowns, and possibly the game. So throw the ball away, and it's very, very simple. All you got to do is here. You got to click the right stick. Let's see where it is. You got to click the right stick to throw it away. But when you do this, apparently it's random, completely random. There's no way that if you're scrambling to the right side, he'll throw it to the right side. If you're scrambling to the left, he'll just throw it to the left. It's completely random which side he's going to throw it to. So you want to make sure that there's going to be a receiver in the areas that you're throwing to, or you might get hit with the ultimate penalty, which is intentional grounding. But it's that simple. You just want to make sure to live another day, give up that play. A lot of pro players do it. It's very common. It's very smart because you just give up the down and move on to the next play rather than throwing an interception and the other team getting the ball and them getting the opportunity to score against you. So I get the ball here, click it, throw it out of bounds. That's it. That's all you got to do. You got to click it with the right stick. Click it with the right stick. Gets to the inside. You're going to throw it away. If you are outside of the pocket, as long as you get it past the line of scrimmage, you're good to go. If you are going to throw it out of bounds and throw it away, make sure that you are out of the tackle box, which is essentially 79 and 52, basically a line all the way down the field. So I'll throw one in here right now just so you guys can get an idea of that if you're not familiar with this, which I'm sure a lot of you are. But just in case you're not, as long as you're able to get out of that tackle box and your ball gets past the line of scrimmage, it's not going to be intentional grounding and you'll be good to go. So see there, boom, starts there. We're only going to get over here. Oh, he's about to get sacked. Boom, throw it away, live another day. It's that simple, and you can definitely help not throwing picks and forcing the ball when just throwing it away. It's that simple. You don't have to do that because throwing it away, look at that. He could have gotten a sack, but no, I threw it away and he couldn't get that sack. So instead of a 5-10 yard loss or maybe even a fumble or a fumble 6, that's not happening. You reset, you play the next down, and you hopefully move the chains on that next down. All right, so this next one is very similar to throwing the ball away, but it's a little bit different. It's simply just giving yourself up in the pocket, taking a sack essentially. One thing that you can do is give yourself up. Normally when you're scrambling with the ball, I'll show you right here. If you're just scrambling normally and you just tap, if I can get there, and you just tap, the X button, you just tap the X button right here, then essentially all you're going to get is a give yourself up with everything. You're running back, you don't want to get hit with the wear and tear, you just tap X and that's easy. But when you're in the pocket, it's a little bit different. You got to tap L2, left trigger, or L2 for PlayStation, as well as clicking that right stick. And by doing that, that will give yourself up in the pocket. Let me set this up really quickly just so I have some time here. And I'm not getting just obviously rushed like crazy, especially in this amazing defensive line that Texas A&M has. You're in the pocket here. No one's rushing. It's great. Oh, you hold left trigger and click the right stick, and you'll give yourself up. Again, this is another component of helping through wear and tear, moving on to the next play, and also making sure you're not doing something stupid and forcing a pass when you shouldn't be, even though you think that, hey, you know what, I think I can do it. I think I can do it. When in reality, you're probably not going to be able to. You're probably going to throw an interception. You're probably going to blame it on the CPU instead of yourself not being smart about it. So again, if you just tap, you have to actually hold left trigger and click the right stick at the same time, because if you just click the right stick, well, then you're going to throw the ball away, right? You're just going to throw it away. So you can't do that. And especially if you're inside that tackle box, well, then you're going to get a intentional grounding penalty. So you definitely want to make sure that you are avoiding that. So again, it's left trigger, holding left trigger and clicking the right stick. As you see here, left trigger, right stick, and you get yourself down. Make sure you don't get hit, you don't get fumbled. It's another way to hold on to that football and move on to the next down, to give yourself another opportunity to make something happen. All right, so for this next one, it's going to be your passing settings. Whatever settings you use, stick with them. Don't constantly change it. They are a little bit different from each other, and it makes things very, very difficult and confusing when changing it different times and forgetting that you changed it, because every little passing play is a little bit different, or sorry, passing settings is a little bit different. For example, I use pace placement and accuracy. With this one, it enables timing element for perfect accuracy on bullet passes on top of visual targets to control the pass placement and power. And for passing slowdown, I turn that off, and mainly because you can do it in offline gameplay, but it's kind of pointless because you're not able to for online gameplay. So if you can't do it online gameplay, what's the point of doing it for offline? Because you're not practicing what you're going to be doing when you're actually going up against real users. Lead increase, I go small. You can mess around with this. You can go small, medium, a large, or none at all. I have small. Rectangle speed, I kept it at 10, and that's just honestly what I've kept personally the whole time that I've been playing this game, ever since I changed these settings back when, probably like a week or so into playing this game. I've just loved this, and I've gotten really, really used to it. So whatever settings that you're playing with, make sure that you stick with it and you get that consistency. It's better to practice something, one thing 10,000 times than 10,000 things one time. You could become a master at that. So stick with whatever settings that you're with and whatever you're comfortable with. These are my settings. I would prefer these, honestly. I would recommend them. But if you're comfortable with the settings that you have and you came out with the ones that came out with the game, which I know was revamp passing, which is probably one of the more common ones, stick with it. But like I said, whatever makes you more comfortable, because the more comfortable you are with throwing the ball, with how much power you need behind your passes, how long you got to hold it to, hit your icons and hit your passes, the better chance that you have to not throw interceptions in college football 25. So the next tip I got for you guys is going to be pass leading, or lead passing. And if you're not familiar with this, it's very, very simple. You use the left stick here to move the pass where you want it to go. So instead of just pressing the icon, you can lead them a little bit more to the right, to the left, throw it behind them, throw them a little bit deeper. It just depends on the situation. As I'll show you here, I'm going to put my tight end in a corner route, and you're just going to see what happens when I don't use lead pass here. Throw it deep, and that corner's right there, who easily makes a play on the ball, could easily pick it, and that's something that you definitely want to avoid. Angle it down, not the best throw, but he's able to make the catch, and honestly was a red, so that's very, very rare. But this is just one example, guys, of just using the pass leading to your advantage. Let's see if I just throw it, angle it back towards him. So I angle that one back towards him a little bit, gives him a better opportunity. He dropped the ball, unfortunately, which is kind of irritating, because this is obviously something that should be able to catch it, no problem. There we go, hold on to the ball there. But all I'm doing there is I'm doing a quick little bottom left while holding it. And again, in order to do this, you need to hold it while pressing the pass button. So that is just making sure to, give yourself an opportunity to throw a completion when you normally might not be able to. Like if I just wait, and I throw this right here, well, the corner's going to make a break on the ball, and I got extremely lucky there. Everything's going against me this one. But it's very, very easy to set this up. And let me see if I can change this up again here. Let's see, a drag route. Put him on a drag. Let's see what happens here. Put him on a drag route. Well, I want to throw him deeper. So right there, what I was trying to show you is if I were to take the tight end and put him on a drag route, right? And I throw it to him normally. Well, I'm going to throw it right here, and it might take him a little bit more time to turn upfield, right? So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to put him another drag route, but instead of throwing it normally where he caught it at, let's check. Let's see, where did he catch that at? He caught it normally at about, what are we on, the 30, right? We're on the 30. So he caught it at about the 2 yards downfield, about 2.5 yards downfield, right? It's about the 27-yard line. So now he's on a drag. I'm going to lead pass him up a little bit to throw it to him more down the field. Let's see where he catches this one. Okay, able to catch it in stride a little bit better. Threw it a little bit behind him. I might have to try that again. But let's see where he's able to hold on to that ball. Actually makes contact with it, should I say. Because he was a 27.5 before. Now with this lead pass, watch his character right here as he drifts back a little bit. Catches about 4 yards downfield. So that's one thing to keep in mind here is I'll do this again. I'll put him on a drag. Let's see if I can get a better pass by Cook. Yeah, about 4 yards downfield. So you can almost double that distance. It just depends on what you want to do. This really helps for RPOs as well, especially when you see someone coming in and you don't want them to pick it off. You can either throw it more downfield, more behind the line of scrimmage, or more to the right or to the left. So it's very, very helpful and effective when using this correctly when you see that defender. And if it's too late to back out of the pass, well, then you can easily just lead them left, right back at them, throw it behind them. And let me see actually one more time if I can do this for you guys, just to make it a little bit easier to kind of understand. All right, so here's another example here. Just audibled it simply. I'm going to throw to Burden, and he's going to be running right into that defensive linebacker right there, who's in the little green rectangle. The goal is here is I'm going to show you without using, lead passing, is what will happen if I don't. As he runs right into him here, and you have that guy right there, and he should be either getting that ball picked off or dropping it 9 times out of 10. Now, let's see what happens if I set this up again. If I do a lead pass, but throw it behind him a little bit, because you want to definitely avoid that. Lead him behind a little bit, and now he's able to make that catch behind him, make it a more difficult time for that linebacker to actually make that tackle. So let me try it one more time for you guys before we move on to the next tip here. Hike the ball, throw it behind him, able to make that catch a little bit behind him, and if you're lucky and you get that out quicker, he might be able to catch it and actually not hit him. So let me try one more time. I know I just said one more time, but let me just lie one more time. Throw it behind him a little bit, and he's able to actually catch it, make a step before getting hit. So again, lead passing is essential, especially when you want to avoid interceptions. All right, so for the next tip, it's going to be high ball passing. I know I've talked about it a lot on this channel, and I love high ball passing. There's so many opportunities that you can use a high ball pass that can really give you an advantage to not throwing interception and giving your receiver a chance to make the play on the ball and really give him the only chance to make a play on the ball. The last thing you want to do is throw an interception because you get undercut by a cornerback. So for this example, I'm going to see if I can actually set this up properly as I stem my left receiver up a little bit here. Let's see if he can beat this like he did previously, okay? If I just throw it normally here, well then the defender's easily able to stop it, right? Even if he has a step on him, it's not going to be good enough because you have a bullet pass and it's just not going to go over him enough, So you definitely want to use the high ball pass for this example here. As again, let's see if he's able to get it, okay? Try to lob it over him right there. Give your player an opportunity to make the catch. He didn't there. But in order to do a high ball pass, all you got to do is tap the left bumper. Hold the left bumper while making the throw. So that's it. Left bumper or L1 on PlayStation to throw the high ball pass. Let's see if I can get it for this time again. Got a step. Throw it over the cornerback. Able to make that catch and bring it in. This time, the cornerback is not able to, undercut that route, which is essentially what you want to do. You want to make sure that you don't give the cornerback a chance to cut it off and pick it off because it's very, very common in college football 25. I know a lot of people don't like it, but it is what it is. And in order to get around that is the high ball pass. When it comes to high ball passes, yes, you do risk chance of dropping it if you do get, in contact by a cornerback, but that's a chance I'd be willing to take rather than throwing an interception or potentially, or almost a guaranteed interception pretty much with someone that's open downfield. All right, so my last tip for throwing less interceptions in college football 25 is going to be click on catching. If you are out of the dark on this and you have not been doing this, we got to bring you into the light because this is key to helping you throw less interceptions. Essentially what it is you're allowed to use your player that you're throwing the ball to by just clicking onto them. In order to click onto them, you just press B. It'll take you right to the receiver that you're throwing the ball to when the ball's in the air after you made the pass. And then you essentially have control of that user and you're able to hopefully make that catch. In a video that I made a few weeks ago, talked about the 3 different catch types that there are in college football 25. The rack catch, which is X, holding X. You have A, which is the possession catch, and you have Y, which is the aggressive catch. Depending on the situation, each catch has its own purpose. But for this example here, I'm going to be throwing it to Norfleet in kind of like a levels kind of a concept. And I'm going to see what I need to do here. Throw it to him there. And I clicked onto him and I went possession catch because if I didn't, he probably would have been lit up by number 8. Okay, I'm going to throw it to him again. able to catch it and get down as soon as possible. This really helps, especially when you have a defender right in your face when you're about to make the catch. 9 times out of 10, if you try to hold on to that, unless you have a very good receiver like, Smith, you got Burden or Ryan Williams or somebody like that, well, then it's going to be knocked out more often than not. All right, again here, and I throw it to the tight end, get down so he doesn't get laid out by that defender. And that's just one example of click on catching. I pretty much click on catch every single time that I can because I just don't trust the CPU. And when you're going up against a user in a game, whether it's online dynasty, road to the college football playoff, cut, one of those different modes, you're going to be playing against people that are also going to be using their players. So they're going to be switching onto their defenders, trying to beat you. So it's essentially going to be one-on-one there. And if you can do this, this does help your chances to catch the ball and throw less interceptions, because if you use the right catch for that situation that you're going in, you're going to throw less interceptions. You're either going to hold on to the ball and you're going to move on to the next play, or at least give your player an opportunity to make the play and make it more difficult for the defender to intercept it. But that's going to do it for my tips, guys, of throwing less interceptions in College Football 25. If you guys did get anything out of this video, please leave a like. If you guys are new to the channel, please subscribe. I know a lot of you guys are that are seeing my videos, so if you made it this far, might as well subscribe because I got a lot of good tips coming your way. You do not want to miss those. And also, if you are subscribed to the channel, make sure to turn on those notifications so you don't miss another Tips with T's in College Football 25. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next time. Peace.